Encourage your team to share concepts that may initially seem too unconventional, because remember, it's in these daring notions that true innovation often lies. Welcome to the Creative Solutions Podcast. On the show, it's my job to tease out the creative solutions my guests are coming up with to change the world through creativity, social action, and mindset. I also give you tips and techniques so you can do the same. This episode is brought to you by my class, Meditation for Busy People, where you'll learn how to relieve stress and discover clarity and joy in just 5 minutes a day. It's also brought to you by the Brain FM app and this podcast's host, Podbean. Also, follow the podcast on Instagram or TikTok and check out our shop for merch, music, and musings. The links are all in the show notes. Hello and welcome to the Creative Solutions Podcast. I'm your host, Izolda. Thanks so much for taking the time to be here. I'm really excited about this next set of episodes. This is going to be about creative leadership, and I'm going to be talking about what it takes to be a good leader through creative thinking and innovation. I'm going to be diving deep into the world of innovative visionaries in leadership. I'm going to explore how daring to think outside the box can transform you into a true visionary leader. So buckle up, because we're about to unleash the power of creative leadership. Let's talk about what it means to be an innovative visionary. I think it's about embracing bold ideas. So imagine a world where people never dared to dream big or push the boundaries of what's possible, where innovation stagnates and progress remains at a standstill. It's a world devoid of the revolutionary breakthroughs, the groundbreaking discoveries, and the audacious transformations that have shaped history. Sounds uninspiring, doesn't it? Well, my fellow creative thinkers and visionary leaders, you're in for an exciting exploration today. This journey revolves around a concept that defies mediocrity and embraces the extraordinary, embracing bold ideas to foster visionary leadership. I think at the heart of visionary leadership lies the willingness to challenge the status quo, to question the conventional, and to envision possibilities that others might dismiss as unrealistic. So it's a mindset that thrives on audacious thinking, where the unimaginable becomes a catalyst for change. So I'm not going to just talk about this concept in theory. I want to dive into the real-world examples that illustrate the undeniable power of audacious thinking. So let's take the first real-world example, Netflix's industry disruption. Reed Hastings, the co-founder of Netflix, in a world dominated by brick-and-mortar video rental stores, remember Blockbusters, everybody? Hastings envisioned a future where entertainment consumption would be totally different. He disrupted the established norms by introducing a subscription-based model for DVD rentals. Lots of people thought it was audacious, even foolish, to challenge the familiar rental store experience. But Hastings saw beyond the limits and envisioned a world where customers could access a huge library of content without ever leaving their homes. This audacious move laid the foundation for the streaming revolution. That's a transformation that reshaped how we experience movies and TV shows. I remember that switch from DVD to streaming, and for a long time you could do both. You could get DVDs and you could also stream things, and slowly but surely DVDs went away and we stopped renting them altogether because streaming became so much the technology that we all wanted. We didn't have to wait for 2 days to get a DVD. If we wanted to stream something, we could do it right now. And Netflix's journey from a DVD rental service to global entertainment powerhouse is a testament to the remarkable impact of embracing those bold ideas. So here's a technique, if you're leading a team, that you can try to up your visionary thinking. They're called visionary brainstorming sessions. So how do you do that? How do you embrace bold ideas in your own leadership journey? One technique is to initiate these visionary brainstorming sessions. Gather your team in an environment, an atmosphere that encourages just free thinking, where all of the constraints and restrictions of the familiar are going to be set aside. Encourage the people you're working with to challenge assumptions, imagine the unimaginable, and explore uncharted territories. In these sessions, wild and unconventional ideas are not just welcomed, they're going to be celebrated. You're going to want to celebrate whatever crazy, wacky ideas people come up with, because they can be the seed of what's to come. And it's in the midst of all of these audacious concepts that true innovation often finds its footing. And those, as I said, are the seeds. And then if you provide the proper care for those seeds of that innovation, you're going to be amazed at what you grow. Because remember, visionary leadership isn't just about following the beaten path. It's about blazing new trails and daring to explore uncharted territories. It's about having the audacity to ask, what if? My favorite two words, or imagine if, and having the courage to pursue those possibilities. By embracing those bold ideas, you're not just leading, you're inspiring a movement that transcends limitations and shapes a future that once you thought was completely impossible. Think about that. An idea that you thought was completely impossible becomes not only possible, but plausible and maybe probable, because you didn't poo-poo whatever audacious and completely bizarre idea someone came up with. I just love that. To me, that's one of the things that is going to set you aside as leader, right? It's going to set you apart as a leader. Think about that, right? But how do you do it? How do you embrace bold ideas in your own leadership journey? Start by organizing brainstorming sessions dedicated only to those radical ideas. Encourage your team to share concepts that may initially seem too unconventional, because remember, it's in these daring notions that true innovation often lies. Now, here's the second point. The second point delves into the profound role of curiosity in fueling visionary leadership. So picture this, a world where curiosity never thrived, where questions were left unasked and exploration was confined only to the familiar. It's a world where innovation remains stagnant and the beauty of discovery is dormant. Thankfully, the reality we live in is vastly different. And today, I want to dive into that captivating realm of curiosity's impact on your ability to be a visionary leader. At its core, curiosity is more than just an intellectual pursuit. I think it's the spark that ignites fresh perspectives. It sort of brings up those hidden gems, and it propels us toward the unknown with fervor, with passion. And it's a quality that's going to fuel the minds of those who dare to question, of those who dare to ask what if, of those who refuse to accept, well, this is the way it's always been done, and who view every challenge as an opportunity to explore uncharted territory. I want to discuss not just curiosity as a concept, though. I want to immerse ourselves in a real-world example that vividly illustrates how curiosity can lead to incredible insights. Imagine, for example, the minds at Google, right? Google is a company that everybody knows for its culture of innovation and exploration. From the very beginning, Google's founders, Sergey Brin and Larry Page, wanted to build a culture that celebrated curiosity. And they understood that fostering, that creating and generating an environment where questions were encouraged was going to be instrumental in making some of those groundbreaking discoveries. The company has this famous 20% time policy, and it's a practice where their people are encouraged to dedicate a portion of their work week to personal projects. And that led to innovations like Gmail and Google Maps. So this culture of curiosity not only propelled Google's growth, but it also revolutionized how we interact with technology and information. And by we, I mean the whole world. So how can you, as a creative leader, harness the power of curiosity to drive innovation in your own team? One amazing technique is to infuse curiosity into your meetings. So rather than following the typical agenda, allocate time for open-ended questions and explorative discussions. Encourage your team members to share fascinating insights or discoveries from various fields, even if they seem unrelated to what you're currently working on. See, this practice is going to enrich the collective knowledge, and it's going to spark new connections and perspectives that can inspire those innovative solutions. One of the things that I love when I work with teams is to have people who are working in different departments and at different levels come together in small groups. So if you have someone from the mailroom working with someone who is an upper-level manager, the two of them can inform each other, and you're going to be amazed at how often the person from the mailroom knows so much about the foundational workings of the company that they're going to be able to teach that upper-level manager a thing or two about how to improve what the company is doing or is trying to do. And that's just how that is. If you put people together, one of whom is from HR, human resources, and one of whom is from engineering, the two of them are going to enrich each other's perspectives and each other's ability to see those connections. I love that when I work with teams because it's going to not only coalesce the team itself, but they're going to do so with increased knowledge and new perspectives. They're going to be able to see things from other people's points of view, and that can only enrich the entire conversation. And because remember, a lot of this is about how they communicate, right? If they don't know each other, first of all, if they don't know each other's challenges and each other's victories and each other's processes, then they're not working as well together as they could. So helping them learn about one another's challenges and one another's ideas is going to only improve the way the team works together and improve the dynamics with which they succeed. Because remember, cultivating curiosity isn't just about finding answers. It's about cultivating a mindset that embraces the unknown, that values diverse viewpoints, and seeks inspiration from unexpected sources. By nurturing curiosity in yourself and your whole team, you're going to nurture the very essence of innovation that drives that creative and visionary leadership. So let's talk about another real-world example, Pixar. Pixar is known for its groundbreaking animation, and this company attributes a lot of its success to a culture of curiosity. During the creation of the movie Toy Story, Pixar's team delved into the mechanics of toy movement and explored how toys perceive the world. This curiosity-driven approach contributed to the film's authenticity and resonated with audiences worldwide. And actually, it did the same for me. Recently, I saw the Barbie movie, and one of the things that I loved about that movie is that notion of, what do your toys do when you're not playing with them? What kind of life do they have? Do they have one? They very well might, and according to the Barbie movie and the Toy Story movies, they do. But as somebody who's asking what if or imagine if, that enriches your experience of what you're trying to do. Can you see how that works? I love that. And so if you want to cultivate curiosity in your own leadership style and infuse curiosity-driven questions into your team discussions, encourage your team to explore new areas of interest and ask those open-ended questions. Ask the questions that spark creative thinking. Because remember, curiosity isn't just about finding answers, it's about embracing the thrill of exploration. The final point I want to talk about today is going to revolve around fostering a culture of experimentation. Creative leaders understand that the groundbreaking ideas often arise from a willingness to take calculated risks and explore uncharted territories. They recognize that the path to innovation is paved with trials, with failures, and with the relentless pursuit of the unknown. So I want to dive into the heart and the art of experimentation. This distinguishes visionary leaders from the ordinary ones. So I want to talk about that. Let's figure out how to unravel the compelling impact of fostering a culture where experimentation thrives. At its essence, experimentation isn't just about trying new things for the sake of novelty. It's about unlocking the door to unforeseen possibilities and propelling progress beyond the boundaries of the expected. Creative leaders are those who embrace uncertainty, who challenge the norms, and who believe that the status quo is just the starting point for something extraordinary. And now, I want to dive into a real-world case that illuminates how experimentation can lead to remarkable outcomes. So I talked about this a minute ago, the 20% time policy at Google. It's a testament to the transformative power of experimentation, right? If the employees are encouraged not just to think outside the box, but to venture far beyond it, under this policy, employees were granted the autonomy to dedicate a portion of their work hours to experimental projects that lay outside their regular roles. It wasn't just a bold idea, it was a philosophy that echoed Google's commitment to radical innovation. And what were the results of this experiment? In a word, revolutionary. The creative freedom granted by this 20% time policy led to the creation, like I said, of Google Maps and Gmail, and these have become integral to certainly my daily life. Probably most of us have a Gmail account, right? This is an innovation that redefined email communication and set new standards for the user experience, right? Google Maps also transformed navigation and exploration by providing us with interactive maps at our fingertips. Now, other things had to happen for Google Mail and Maps on the iPhone, for example, to become so prevalent. The military back in the 80s and 90s held on to GPS technology. They did not want you to have regular access to exactly where you were on the planet. It was always offset by 30 to 40 meters at the very least. So we didn't have access to that technology. The innovation was propelled forward when the military released that information so that Google and the Maps app on the iPhone could be invented in a way that was going to use that technology that was being released. Because I remember using those GPS units, and those GPS units were always like, yeah, you're kind of here. I'm kind of going to tell you your latitude and your longitude and your elevation, because those are the three things you need to know to triangulate your location on Earth. But I'm really not going to tell you the exact spot. Why? Because there were military applications for doing that. So these innovations emerged once the military released that information. And because Google was ready, because they were starting to see and to look at some of this stuff, and the employees at Google were given the permission and encouragement to seek the new, to look at the innovative, they were able to take that calculated set of risks and have that curiosity-driven pursuit, and the constant quest for improvement gave us Gmail, Google Maps, and so many other innovations. So as a visionary leader, how can you infuse experimentation into your leadership approach? I want to ask you to consider implementing experimentation labs within your organization. Designate some time and resources for teams to pursue innovative projects that might not align with their usual responsibilities. Encourage them to explore unconventional approaches, learn from their failures, and share their insights with the larger team. By creating a safe space for experimenting, you're going to foster a culture that thrives on the unknown and welcomes the lessons that unknown is going to bring them. Because remember, creative leaders are not going to be deterred by failure. They're going to be emboldened by the lessons that failure imparts. You know, there's a saying, sometimes you win, sometimes you learn, and that's it. It's no longer about losing. Failure does not mean loss. Failure means lesson learned. And creative leaders view that kind of experimentation as a means for growth. It's a vehicle for discovering the unexplored and a springboard to innovation that's going to set new standards. So to foster that culture of experimentation, create an environment where it's safe to fail. Encourage your team to embark on controlled experiments, knowing that even if a venture doesn't succeed, the insights that they're going to gain are going to contribute to the collective growth of the entire team. So provide resources and time for those experiments and celebrate all of the lessons that you learn. And there you have it. Embrace bold ideas, cultivate curiosity, and foster a culture of experimentation to unleash your inner visionary. Because remember, creative leadership isn't limited to a select few. It's a mindset that anyone can cultivate. And I want to ask you to remember that, because we tend to think that people who are visionaries breathe rarefied air, and they don't. If we all free our imaginations and our creative thinking caps, if you will, we can all bring something innovative to the table. I hope that you enjoyed today's episode. I love talking about this stuff. I love working with teams when I help them innovate and foster that culture of communication, collaboration, and innovation. Creative thinking in teams can make amazing things happen, like some of the examples that I gave you today. It's incredible what we can do, and I want to see us do it. I think together, if we think in that innovative way, if we think in that creative way, we can solve the world's problems. We just have to be willing to support those creatives when they're coming up with those ideas. As always, I am Izolda Trachtenberg, and as always, I remind you to please go ahead and subscribe to the show. I hope you enjoyed this set of episodes. We're going to be talking about this probably through the end of the year. I'm going to have something to say about creative leadership because it's so important to me. And I hope that you enjoyed it. Until next time, as always, I remind you to be bold, be creative, and most of all, be kind. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you being here. Please subscribe to the podcast if you're new, and it would mean the world to me if you told a friend about it. Today's episode was produced by Izolda Trachtenberg and is copyright 2023. As always, please remember this is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Past performance does not guarantee future results, although we can always hope. Until next time, keep living what you believe in.